welcome to the Internet Boston 2015. I'm here with Celine Schillinger from Sanofi Pasteur. Hi Celine, can you quickly introduce yourself, introduce the company you're working for?
Sure, I'm working for Sanofi Pasteur, which is a company involved in manufacturing and distributing vaccines for people to protect themselves against diseases. I've been there for 14 years and I've been involved in different roles, and right now I'm in charge of innovation and engagement for quality.
Interesting. And so what are the projects you're currently working for Sanofi Pasteur?
So it's a very, very exciting project right now where we are trying to improve the performance of our quality and of our industrial manufacturing by changing behaviors, by making the company work in a way that is more collaborative, more modern, where people are more engaged. And of course, this doesn't happen from a top-down process. So we are really creating networks of activists and empowering large-scale volunteerism on a very, very large scale to trigger those new behaviors that will have an impact, a positive impact on performance. It's a very, very different approach to quality improvement compared to what is usually done.
Okay, great. Yeah, so yesterday you were talking about corporate rebels.
Yeah.
Could you, I heard the big impact in the room when you were in on Twitter when you were talking about it.
I saw some people smiling
light bulbs.
and exactly.
Could you introduce us to the idea, to the concept behind that?
Sure. I have met a lot of people in my corporate life who are trying to change things, but who were labeled as troublemakers because they were basically challenging the status quo. They were not accepting everything that was that they were asked to do, for example, or they were not pleased with every corporate policy, and those people were labeled as, troublemakers. And I realized, by looking a little bit outside on the web, I realized that we could actually label those people in a much more positive way and leverage the energy they can put into change. And one of these labels that I really enjoyed was corporate rebels, or rebels at work. There are different communities out there, and when you connect with those people, you realize there's a fantastic untapped energy which is here in companies. And I think it's a chance for companies to, if they give room to those people who think differently, who want to change things, it's really a chance for companies to become more modern, to evolve. I mean, in a constant disruption world where we are right now, if you don't have those disruptors, or if you try to, silence them, I think you lose the battle. It's a fantastic energy. You have to tap into that.
Okay. And so this afternoon you're going to present to the whole audience your case study. Could you also maybe introduce us to the topic you're going to discuss?
There has been a number of experiences driven in Sanofi Pasteur to change the culture. So I will not talk about all of them because we were starting to have a nice track record, but two of them are probably the last two ones are interesting to present and share with the audience. The first one is about creating a community of activists around a disease. This is a very different way compared to what pharma companies usually do when they talk to their audience. I use the word talk to. That's really what they are doing. They are the expert, and they display, they provide knowledge to the audience, disease awareness, this kind of stuff. And instead of that, we took a completely different approach, which was to enable connection between like-minded people, whoever they are, scientists, lay public, authorities, whatever. What counts is the purpose, the common purpose. And we enabled this community of activists, and we became an activist ourselves. So that was really, really different from the usual corporate, institutional kind of communication. Here it's engagement, aimed at creating shared value for the common good, to fight against the disease, whatever the solution is. We have a solution, but it's not the only one. And our interest is to have a very lively and active ecosystem in which we are a natural partner. So we come down from our authority posture or expert posture to being an activist that co-produces value with the other people. This community is called Break Dengue. It has an enormous success and impact out there on the ground and in the social world. It's been rewarded by many rewards. It's really a fantastic case study. So that will be the first one.
Okay.
And the second one is what we're doing today, right now, with quality, which is based on the same principles. Is instead of telling from an expert position or a leadership position, instead of telling people what to do, you come down at the level of where they are, where those people are, and you engage them into becoming activists of the change you want to see. And you act as an activist as well. Change will not happen in a top-down mode. I'm absolutely convinced of that. We need to nurture grassroots change and communities. And people want to do that. There's this energy, and currently this energy is just not being recognized or facilitated or cultivated. So we have, I think, a very, very interesting case study here. It's under development, but I'm working out loud, taking the advice of John Stepper and really putting it in practice, because I love to share our projects when they are going on in order to get feedback and improve the projects. And I think getting input from a variety of sources is what social media brings you, and it makes your project so much more interesting and relevant, I think.
And lively.
Yes,
probably.
Definitely. And it's passionate. I mean, there's passion, you see.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what I do.
That's a really, really great thing when you love your job.
Yeah.
So basically what I understand is it's all about how culture and how change agents can enable social business collaboration within your company. What are the challenges in that? Is it just what you're mentioning, top-down, and the corporate rebels trying to get everyone involved, or are there other challenges?
I think inclusion is a very big challenge, because very often companies go to the usual suspects, like a few project managers, high potential people, or rely on small circles, governance to drive the change, and it doesn't happen. So I think inclusion in a broader sense, that is cross-functional but also cross-layer inclusion is extremely important. Diversity is, I keep saying that, and it kills me to see that some still don't get the message. Diversity is key to the evolution of companies, to the relevance of the business, to connection with the outside world, with our customers. So the bigger challenge I see is that companies try to, they often have the tendency to control and manage everything, because that's what they know, that's how they work, so everything is controlled, put in a box, you define an end goal that you want to reach with KPIs, with metrics, with progress reports, with a steering committee, with sponsors. Culture change never happens this way, never. It's an illusion. So what we'd better do is enable people by connection, by training, by investing in people, enable them to connect and create the value. So you have to come down from your pedestal, as a top leader or as a manager, or you're not better than the other people, you're just at a different position. But if you want to drive change for your company, you can't do it alone. You can't even do it in a small group. You have to involve everybody.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it's all about people.
It's all about people. And how do we reach this energy? A lot of people are come to work in the morning and they're not engaged, they're not really here because they've tried to change a few things or to express a passion, and they were slammed on the head, and they were told to just, listen to what you're being told and do it. And so the passion is channeled onto other things, which is great for society, but which is not great for companies. Mm-hmm. And I believe we can make companies more performant. We can also make people more happy at work. And this is not a small goal. This is a very, very important goal. I mean, if you're happy at work, think of all the ripple effects. You do a better job. You live longer. Your family is happier. I mean, it's for me, it's not a small goal. It's really important.
Oh. And so, talking about the future and the evolution of all that, what do you think are the biggest trends that we're going to see when it comes to intranets in the next few years?
Well, intranets will definitely have to reflect this new reality of collective performance and engagement and giving people a voice, enabling them to connect and to deliver great things wherever they sit in the organization. Very often, intranets are still static, they are heavy, they're hardly social. Enterprise search is just a pain. You need, an army of IT people to make something that looks relatively cool. But people are used to tools at home that are so, easy to use. You don't need anybody to teach you how to use that. So how can we make the corporate tools as easy as the ones people use at home? And with the new generations, I mean, I don't think it's all a question of generation, but still, it does matter. Those young people coming into the workforce are now completely used to, applications, whatever. Mm-hmm. And if they go to work and see a system that is, like the voice of the leadership committee, and that does not resonate with them, well, they will not use it. They will look for information elsewhere. They will share information elsewhere, and the company will lose connection opportunities and engagement opportunities. So intranets, I would say, are not the engagement tool. I think it would be naive to think that an intranet can be the answer to engagement. However, they play an important role in connection, in empowerment, in making people able to share and access information easily. So in this respect, a lot of people should pay attention to intranets, and not just IT people, I think.
Okay, great. So now thinking about the event and what you're going to take out from it once you go back in the office and discuss it with your colleagues, probably. What did you gain from the community? What were your expectations? What did you like the event formats? Let us know a bit about that.
So one thing I've noticed, and I really liked, and I would like to thank the organization for, is that I have seen a lot of women on stage. And it may seem like a detail, but it's very important. A lot of tech, oriented conferences have just a bunch of men on the stage, mm-hmm. and very few women. I think this conference that is much more balanced, that is really balanced actually, mm-hmm. is a fantastic role model for other conferences. So if there was just one point I would remember, this would be it, because I have been fighting for a long time for more diversity in my workplace. Yes. So when I see it in action here, I think it's great. It's fantastic. So thank you very, very much. And,
that's great to hear.
And the other thing is, what I will get back from this is a community, is an expansion of the community of interesting people I'm interacting with. So I've already created a list on Twitter of all the people who've tweeted about this event, so that I can keep in touch and keep connected and see the content, and maybe I'm sure this will trigger new conversations and maybe new opportunities of dialogue, conversation. Those opportunities to connect are so precious.
Mm-hmm.
They're precious to everybody and to companies that employ us. And so I'm really looking forward to the next event now.
That's great. That's great to hear. So we'll see you probably in the Internet Reloaded Boston 2016.
Absolutely,
I guess.
with pleasure.
Well, I'm looking forward to your presentation this afternoon.
Thank you
It was
very
really great
much.
talking to you.
Me too.